2024. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial board created by the City of Ames. The board's purpose is to decide on applications for special use permits, exceptions and variances to the zoning ordinance, applications for conditional use permits in the floodplain, requests for reasonable accommodations because of a disability, and appeals of decisions of the zoning enforcement officer. As the board of the city, we welcome all testimony. We make our decisions based on the facts and evidence as allowed under the city code presented in open meeting. Testimony before the board, it must be given under oath or affirmation. If the proceedings become lengthy, we may ask that testimony be focused on new facts or evidence not already presented. We ask that you come to the microphone if you wish to speak, so that your testimony will be audible and may be recorded before speaking. Please complete an orange information card and hand it to the recording secretary. When you are testifying, please address your remarks to the board. We also ask that the proceedings be orderly. The Zoning Board of Adjustment is an independent volunteer board of citizens. We are not part of the city administration. We are served in our efforts this evening by Assistant City Attorney Vicki Fieldmeyer, Justin Moore, and Recording Secretary Natalie Rinkmeyer. Oh, Benjamin Campbell, sorry.
No problem.
All I had to do was look and see what was marked here. The order of proceedings for each application will be as follows. First, an oral statement summarizing the issues and procedural steps will be presented by the staff. Second, testimony and evidence will be presented by the applicant. Third, testimony may be heard from any members of the audience who wish to speak in support of or in opposition to the appeal. Next, the board will give the applicant and the city staff an opportunity to present concluding summaries and arguments. And finally, the board will discuss the issues and evidence and come to a decision. The agenda for tonight, the first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from January 10th, 2024 meeting. I think we all got these ahead of time. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting from January 10th, 2024? All right, motion Zener, second by Whitehouse. Any discussion on it? See anything that needs to be added, deleted, amended? All right, all those in favor of accepting the minutes from January 10th, 2024, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, so the minutes from January 10th, 2024 are approved. Second item on the agenda tonight is the public hearing on a request for a special use permit to allow for alterations and additions to a religious institute, which would be St. Cecilia Catholic Church, within a residential low density school district. I guess first off, we'll have the staff report.
Yes, good evening. The special use permit tonight is for St. Cecilia, which is at the corner of Hoover Avenue and 38th Street. Because the church is in a residential low-density zoning district, the code requires a special use permit in order to ensure that the religious institution will be compatible with the surrounding areas. As you can see, the church is surrounded by residential uses. The FPRD there is a planned residential district, which is a kind of a planned development. There are specific zoning rules that are written for those districts, but they are all residential. You can see here, this is the sanctuary in the center of the screen. The initial permit for the sanctuary was issued by the city in 1971. Over the following decades, additions were built for a rectory, for a church hall, which is the part immediately to the right, to the east of the sanctuary, and for a school. The church is proposing to build an addition there on the west side, and the addition will have a footprint of roughly 1,078 square feet. The footprint, and I have some floor plans as well here, will contain a sacristy, which will be preparation for the priests. It will have a storage, and then we'll have some mechanical equipment as well. The other primary change that is proposed is to the elevation. You can see here the proposed addition. The church is proposing to put a new roof, a much taller roof, onto the sanctuary. You can see here the light is existing and the dark is proposed. So you can see the east, that is the proposed addition. And you can see here, this is looking from Hoover. You can see that the proposed roof, though it will obviously be higher, will still be lower than the existing hall to the east. The proposal does also include a cupola there on the top, which does project above the maximum 40-foot high limit for the RL zoning district. However, the code does allow for encroachments of architectural features such as cupolas if they are less than 200 square feet, which this one is. This is a floor plan of the church. You can see to the west there is the addition. There's some other changes that are proposed as well, interior renovations which would not be subject to the special use permit. And this is where the mezzanine for the mechanical equipment. Staff did send out notices. I did receive several phone calls from neighbors. I'm just curious to know what the project was. Did not receive any written communication from any of the neighbors, and staff does recommend approval.
Any questions this time for staff?
And you didn't receive any complaints from the public through the phone, anything?
I hesitate to categorize any conversation I have on the phone. I always encourage people to submit something in writing. I would categorize the phone calls as people just wanting to know, because the notice doesn't give, we don't have site plans or elevations or anything that go along with it. And so people were curious to know what the proposal was.
If the applicant wants to present to the board, will you state your name and your address, please?
You bet. Good evening, Honorable Chair and Board of Adjustment members. Corey Marsh with Snyder and Associates,
And you-
2727 Snyder Boulevard in Ankeny.
Sorry about that. Do you swear to tell the truth or affirm to tell the truth?
I swear to tell the truth.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't have a whole lot to add to that. It's a pretty straightforward site plan, pretty small addition. We are extending the building a little bit closer to Hoover, it's Hoover to the west, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
However, we're still 62 feet off that property line. We are adding some trees, some evergreens there. Actually, they're overstory trees, and then some plantings up against the new building addition as well, which weren't there before. So outside of that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
This is just for storage. It didn't add any room to the sanctuary itself.
Nope, it did
So
not.
occupancy is not an issue.
That's correct.
So it wouldn't create any more space for individuals or parking or traffic or anything like that, I think was the.
Correct. The parking is based for religious institutions, churches, is based on the sanctuary capacity or either the seating capacity or the size, but because neither is being impacted here, parking is not affected.
Any other questions for applicant? Okay. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys getting together tonight.
I don't think there's any members of the public here, so we will skip that step. Any summaries or arguments from anybody? I don't think there's really much more to clarify.
We did go through the zoning ordinance does have criteria both for special use permits and then specifically for special use permits in residential zoning districts. And we did find that it met all the standards that were in the zoning code.
All right, based on all that, do I have a motion regarding the public hearing on a request for special use permit for St. Cecilia Catholic Church?
I'll make a motion to approve alternative number 1.
Okay, motion for alternative number 1 from Zener, second by Schneider. Any discussion or concerns, questions from the board? I think for me, it was just that it didn't increase capacity, so it wouldn't increase traffic flow or any issues with parking. So it seems like, yeah, they need the storage space. So, all right, roll call vote.
Schneider,
Aye.
Whitehouse,
Aye.
Zener.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is passed. Those wishing to appeal the decision of the board may do so within 30 days of entry of the filing. As there are no other items on the agenda, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion Whitehouse, second Zener. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. We are adjourned.